are stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, Wanderers. I am back. Welcome. We are live tonight. It's Wednesday and we are soul wandering. For those of you who are new, I'd like to invite you over to my website, soulwanderings.com. You can learn about me and all of the good things that I'm up to. There's a lot of things that I do. I love creating. I love hosting soul wanderings, and I love assisting humans through their human experiences. And tonight is going to be a really neat night because we have a guest who likes to do the same. He likes to help other people heal. And, that's right up my alley. I love to talk about health. I love to talk about healing. I love to talk about alternative ways in doing that. And tonight, that's what our show is all about. I would like to introduce our guest, but first, let me guide you over to kgradb.com. That's where you can learn about the show. You can learn about all the other shows here hosted on kgradb.com. And there's a lot of them. So I hope you guys take a deep dive and look around and see what you can find and build your brains with, because there's a lot going on over there, lots to learn, lots to experience. But we are soul wandering tonight, so let's do that. Tonight we have Tom Paladino. He began researching with scalar energy during his undergraduate years. Inspired by various scientists, he was curious to learn more about the existence of an energy that was not of the electromagnetic spectrum. He pursued a course of independent study in order to better understand and subsequently harness scalar energy. And this emerging science is not taught at a university level. So through a series of events, which we'll have the opportunity to hear about tonight, Tom was able to develop scalar energy instruments capable of harnessing and transmitting instructive energy to heal human subjects remotely, which I think is really cool because I do healing face-to-face, and you get to do it with people all over the world. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. You're right. I have the ability to work throughout the world. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's such a neat technique that I'm really excited to learn about. As I said before the show, there are so many people in my awareness who are suffering from many ailments that you claim to be able to heal or to assist these humans in feeling better in all the ways. And I feel like everything you're going to share with us tonight will affect, several of us on one level or another. But first, let's get to know you.
Sure. Where do I start? I'm a humanitarian. I want to help people. So how do I help people? Well, in this case, with technology, with a new technology, scalar energy. It's not electricity. So what do I mean? Well, look at the electrical age. Look at what convenience electricity has given us. Imagine the world with and without electricity. Well, obviously, electricity, the electrical age has left its mark upon the world. There's a better energy, though. There's an easier way of doing things. And I prefer to use scalar energy, which is the energy of the stars, the energy of the sun. And what's my point? Well, this is a new technology that will help the world. It's going to improve our lifestyle. And that's what it's all about. To help mankind, to improve our lifestyle, to abet the human condition. So what I have to present tonight has really far-reaching implications. If you follow my consecution, you follow the bouncing ball, so to speak, you'll see how soon the world will embrace this technology and better from it.
That is fantastic. All of that sounds just amazing. How did you come into the awareness of scalar energy, and how have you become so passionate about it?
I am passionate about it. I see the gigantic promise. I studied the work of Nikola Tesla. Tesla, the great inventor, he was the first person to work with scalar energy instruments. And to this day, what he achieved with scalar energy is unparalleled. So, if you will, the driving force when I was young was Nikola Tesla. Why? Because technology helps mankind. Technology, when rooted in morality and properly utilized and administered, is a betterment to mankind. We will improve our lives. So it was Tesla who was really the impetus of my learning. I learned what Tesla had achieved and how we could achieve those same feats if we just follow his inventions.
He was way above his time. There's no doubt about that. And when people back then were creating instruments and solutions and inventions that are far beyond what we're creating now, it just really makes me wonder how and why we aren't using that technology.
Exactly.
Well, here you are using it, but it's not known. Like, this was brand new information to me. And I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the world of healing and energy and how that works. But I had never heard of scalar energy before. I understand the concept, the idea of it, what scalar means, but like, why is this not something that we're using to help people? So many of us are suffering from so many chronic illnesses and pains and things we don't even know that are happening in our body.
Yeah, AJ, that's rather prudent, your observation. And the one word that I use is suppression. This technology is suppressed. There is this active suppression against this technology. Now, you might say, why? What's the point? This new technology makes obsolete the existing technology. So there's a lot of money involved. To be quite candid, there's a lot of money involved. And anytime you bring in a new technology, well, the existing technology, if it can't hold its ground, it just becomes obsolete. And that's what I see with scalar energy. Now, keep in mind, scalar energy is the free energy of the stars, of the sun. And this is what Nikola Tesla was tapping into over 100 years ago. And Tesla had the same suppression that I now face. We're both humanitarians. We're working with this free energy from the stars. Well, why doesn't the media get behind us? Well, the media is controlled. And the big players in the world do not want this. It upsets the apple cart. That's the simple answer.
Right. That is the simple answer, because we know that to be the truth. And quite simply, all of us would be healthy if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are very wise, and people see the big playing field here, and they realize it's not a level, fair playing field. There are monopolies out there that only abet the elite. Who benefits? The elite, those who control the monopolies. And who suffers? The greater majority of mankind. Well, I'm not for that. I don't think anybody in their right mind would be for that.
Right. Exactly. And it makes me wonder, when they're not for that, what mind are they in? But that's another topic.
Yeah.
Well, this is such an interesting energy to tap into. There's all types of energy modalities that people are using. And this one obviously is pretty uncommon. So tell us a little bit about the scalar energy. How did you begin to figure it out and start using it and seeing the greatness that possesses.
I learned from two or three masters, Nikola Tesla and another great scientist, Galen Hieronymus. And to give the audience a footnote in history, Tesla at one time developed a scalar energy car. He actually took out the motor, if you will, the combustion motor out of a vehicle, and he replaced it with an antenna, a scalar energy antenna, and a scalar energy engine. And Tesla was able to operate a car with star energy. So imagine that. Now consider that. Working with a car, a scalar energy car, you can maneuver about, you could accelerate, deaccelerate at ease, working with the ambient energy in the atmosphere. Now, had we have listened to Tesla, we all would have been with cars that would work by that function, that would observe that function of free energy from the atmosphere. Now, why do I start off with that? Just to give the audience an indication what we're missing. This has already been achieved. Tesla had a free energy car. Now, here we are, as of this recording, in the midst of an energy crisis. Many people find it very difficult to put gasoline in their cars. Well, we should have listened to Tesla. So hear me out over the next 2 hours, because scalar energy will offer solutions to our problems. And that's what I'm all about. This is not talk. This is not rhetoric. In practice, I have scalar energy instruments that perform scientific functions, and we are improving quantum health, what I call quantum health in people around the world. It's a reality. This is not theory. It's in practice on a daily basis.
You shared that Tesla created this amazing automobile that is very similar, if not the same, as what the current Teslas are. Maybe there's some link there, but he was around. He was creating early 1900s.
Yes, exactly.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, exactly.
And why? I'm just blown away. I'm blown away that we reversed. And I know that there's so much more to talk about, but I'm just still stuck in but why? Why hasn't this been a thing for all of this time?
Yeah.
But it's neat that people like you who become connected to this awareness, they start sharing with everyone, right? Because you start sharing, and these people are having these experiences, and they start sharing, and soon more and more people will know what you're up to.
Yes. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for this audience. Now, the audience might say to themselves, well, if this is so great, why isn't this headline news? Again, it's a suppression. Yeah. Why, if Tesla could develop a car that ran on the energy in the air, radiant energy, as he called it, why wasn't that used broadly over 100 years ago? Well, it was a threat to the powers that be. So we're going to put that to the side, and we're going to move forward. And we're going to speak about what I'm doing and presently with quantum health, and how anybody of any age, any person can improve their health through this new technology. It's painless, it's simple. And again, I use the energy of the stars. This is not electricity. So we're moving forward, and we're going to prove to the world that this is of merit, that this does work.
That's what I'm excited to hear about. I'm really interested in seeing, excuse me, the ways that people are feeling after going through this. I had the opportunity to peruse your YouTube channel this evening before we met, and listen to a testimonial about a woman who had Lyme disease and how bad it was. She shared all of her symptoms and how all these years of pain, even bouts of blindness. And she now claims to be completely healed. And she shared this energy awareness with those that she loved, and they had similar experiences. I'm sure you have plenty of testimonials when it comes to that. And one of the questions I had is where she could access it so easily. Is this something that they work with you or someone else who knows how to use this energy one-on-one, or do you teach them how to directly work with the energy of the stars?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Now, follow me. This is not electricity once again. So when I work with people, I work with the energy field only. And the way I access an energy field is by way of a photograph of a person.
Mm-hmm.
My photograph has a force field or an energy field attached to it. I actually take a person's photograph and I place it inside an instrument. And the instrument then will pick up the energy on a photograph. So we're connecting with a person by way of energy. In similar capacity, you have a cell phone. In a cell phone, obviously a person or your voice is not inside a cell phone. It's your voice that's been modulated. It's a signal of your voice. Well, I don't work with people. I work with a signal of their light, scalar light. Now, with that in mind, I never perform an in-person session. You don't need to. A photograph allows me the connection between my instrument and the force field of a person. This is all energetic. And because it's energetic, it doesn't suffer any type of degradation. There's no chemical involved. There's nothing of a physical nature. So it's a non-physical communication. It's the new science of scalar energy.
That just blows me away. I know that we can manipulate energy in so many ways, and we have the ability to heal from different types of energy, at least shift things around, right? You see these healers with their hands on different platforms, and their people are in this pain, and they do their whatever they do, their woo-woo, their magic, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, and then they're good. But for you to be able to do this from a photograph alone, from whatever distance, and not even have them present in that moment, just really blows me away.
Yeah. Now, to give it, for instance, we're communicating by some type of a video recording. Obviously, you're not in my computer. I'm not in your computer. It's our image. Well, likewise, when I'm working with a scalar energy instrument, it's our image of a person that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can have a communication by way of this radio audio call, and we're at a distance, then I can have a communication with a person's force field by way of their image at a distance. So this is a wireless transmission of energy, and it always works. It always performs some type of salubrious healing, some type of salubrious benefit on account of the fact that scalar energy is fundamental. The instruments that I have do improve what I would call the health signature of a person, or exhibit some type of health benefit, all by way of energy, all by way of this non-physical communication.
I have a question, Tom. Are you yourself able to feel or read others' energies without your instruments?
No. I have the ability to pick up a disease pattern with my instrument, but as psychically, I cannot do that myself. No.
Okay, I was just curious because, I mean, a lot of people who would maybe still want to have that type of an instrument as some kind of tool for them as well. But also, I've met with so many people like we are in this setting right now, and they're able to see, like, just by looking at me, what's going on physically just through my energy field. And so I was just curious if that was something that you were able to do.
That is not,
and it doesn't matter either way. Either way, it's working, right? I was just curious if that was something that you're able to do.
Yeah, that's not my ability. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's good. That's fine. That's the cool thing about it is we have people who are really into healers and like their abilities and what they're able to do. And some people are like, I'm more of the science side, and I want to know how and why, and I want proof, and I want the technology of it and this and that. And that's you. And so there's something for everybody.
Yeah. You're right. So, yes, this is a science. It is a new science. Yes, I do have scientific instruments that allow me to perform this function, but nonetheless, the avenue still remains open. You probably have to have some type of faith or some type of understanding in this other realm, or perhaps what some people might call the supernatural realm. Now, keep in mind, I don't work with physical matter. I work with intelligence. And some people think what I am able to do with an instrument at a distance really is supernatural. Well, if you call it supernatural, so be it, but it does abide by scientific principles. So for those who like science, this is right up your alley. For those who want to believe in faith healing, then perhaps this is also up your alley, because academia cannot prove or disprove this. This is so new. This is cutting edge. Academia, no university that I know of has ever definitively studied scalar energy instruments.
Tom, how long have you been working with these instruments?
In practice, 35 years.
Okay, so sometime you have the experience behind what you're saying.
Yes.
And then some.
Yes. 35 years, and then in theory, 50 years ever since I was a kid. So
it's always been something you've been interested in?
Always.
The science or the energy, or what is it that you've been drawn to?
All of the above. It's simply a matter of, if you understand the scientific principle, then you have an appreciation that God is the motive force here. And you have appreciation that with this technology, you can do so many things. I promise you, people, if we ever incorporated scalar energy throughout the fabric of society, many of our problems would be addressed in a consummate fashion. I mentioned about Tesla had a free energy car. Imagine if everybody's car operated on sun or star power. We would not be in the midst of an energy crisis. We are today.
True. Very true. Very true. And, the side of me that questions everything and wants to know all the questions and answers, I always go back to that. The 1900s, creating something like this, what course or action took place on whatever timeline that altered the course of our reality.
Yes. You're right.
It just blows me away that this is new cutting edge. So you say new cutting edge, and we are just grabbing this concept now, after all of this time.
Yeah, after all this time. And again, why? Well, the press, the universities don't give this any serious consideration, even though there have been scientists who have demonstrated this with instruments, scientific instruments that would repeat a function, a repeatable scientific function. But yes, it does not receive the attention that it should.
Well, okay, so we're talking about the scalar energy and how amazing it is and all the things that it can do. But what are some of the conditions or experiences humans have that would draw them to work with you, and what actually can it do?
Okay, so let's get down to the proof, and let's get down to the science. I have developed scalar energy instruments. They were first engineered by a scientist, Galen Hieronymus, and I've improved on his technique, so to speak. So a scalar energy instrument is able to break down a molecule or create a molecule. Now, what do I mean? Why would we want to break down a molecule, a molecular form? Well, we want to break down a molecular form if it's a bacterium or a virus, a harmful microbe. We want to break down a bacterium, yes, but also we want to break down a toxin, a chemical. Now, this is what I've practiced, and this is what I've proven time and time again. My scalar energy instruments easily can identify, say, a virus or a bacterium and break them down. Well, if we disassemble, break down a virus or a bacterium, that infectious agent does not exist anymore. Offering what? The removal, the eradication of germs, of microbes. How do we do that? with a scalar energy instrument, working with people in substitution by way of their energy field. I don't work with people. People will email me a photograph, and I'm able to pick out on their force field, on their photograph, the presence of microbes, germs. And accordingly, I can eradicate, I can break down those microbes identified in their force field. So consider what I'm saying. No matter where a person is located in the world, a scalar energy instrument working under the guidelines of science can pick out in the force field a collection of microbes, a collection of viruses and bacteria, identify those viruses and bacteria, and then send information into the force field to negate the molecular bonds, to actually break down the molecular bonds of viruses and bacteria. That is one of the functions of my instrument.
Just one of the functions.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's a lot more. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll hear about what those are. And I just have all of these questions going on. I can't wait to ask you. Everyone stay close, and we'll be back here shortly.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Are you looking to go on a faraway journey that is magical and mysterious, reaping on mystical legends? If so, then Mysterious Adventure Tours is perfect for you. Imagine a voyage to explore ancient mysteries of Ireland, haunted majesties of Scotland, or their chilling birth of the vampires in Romania. These small esoteric getaways are limited and do fill fast. So, go to MysteriousAdventureTours.com and book your trip soon.
Hi, I'm Austin Butler from Baz Luhrmann's new film, Elvis.
Tomorrow, all of America will be talking about Elvis Presley.
As a blood donor himself, Elvis shared the gift of life with patients in need and asked others to do the same. We're encouraging you to give blood this summer. Please visit redcrossblood.org/Elvis movie today to learn more.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Wanderings. We are hanging out here on kgradb.com, and we have our guest tonight, Tom Paladino. He works with scalar light energy. He has instruments that provide you relief and painless treatment. That's a plus. To all different kinds of ailments, and we're going to learn more about that here. We just barely got started. So get in, sit down. Let's listen to what this big, beautiful brain has to share with us tonight. Tom, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.
I love your enthusiasm. Like, you can tell you're passionate about what you're doing.
I am. I've spent a career at this, and it's a life well spent. I see the gigantic prospect. I understand how this technology will change our lives for the better. There's just too much negative news out there, and frankly, we need solutions. There's too much complaining. I'm going to offer solutions to the world. I'm not a complainer. I'm a doer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a saying that goes like, one person alone can't change the world, but together we can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And you being the one person beginning this passionate project and sharing it is creating a ripple effect throughout the world.
Yes.
And I hope everybody catches on sooner than later.
Yeah.
I really hope that, because I can tell that's something that you spent your life working on, sharing with everyone. And I mean, it would be a great thing for you, but it'd be a great thing for everyone. And I know I can feel from you that that's where your passion comes from. You love what you're doing,
Yes.
but your interest is in helping other people.
Yeah. That's the end game here.
And it matters.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point of a scientific career if you can't help people? What's the point of all this technology if it doesn't abet the human race? That's the whole point behind technology. And again, look at the world with all the accoutrements and look at the advances that we've made, and then compare that to living underneath a tree without any electricity or living in a hut, a primitive lifestyle. Well, what do you prefer?
Right.
I much prefer the amenities that I enjoy on a daily basis, the technology that I enjoy on a daily basis. And I'm saying that there's another technology, a new technology, scalar energy, scalar light, that will advance mankind, that will propel us forward.
So before the break, you were sharing with us how the instruments actually can read and break down the molecular system and toxins in your body.
Yes, that's good.
It's pretty crazy to think about.
I'll explain that, and I'll show how that works by way of photographs. Now, again, I work with a light instrument, and the way I instruct the instrument is a photograph. This is my photograph, and I can instruct the instrument to send energy to me, to my force field. Now, once again, I don't work with people. I work with images or photographs, because the image or the photograph is your bilocated version. So regardless of where you live in the world, I can access your force field by this photograph, which is your body double or your bilocated version. Now, in practice, let's say I wanted to destroy the herpes virus. I'm holding up a photograph of the herpes virus. This is a magnified photograph of the herpes virus. If I were to place this photograph, which details a series of herpes viruses, the virion, and I would place that adjacent to my photograph in a scalar energy force field, the upshot would be that the information from the herpes virus would share with my photographic force field. So a photograph of a microbe shares with the force field of a person. Now, why do I use photographs? There's no human interpretation, and I can guarantee that whatever is photographed will be identified and destroyed. So if I place a photograph of the herpes virus in the instrument, the herpes virus is identified, and then if I do have that herpes virus, it's destroyed. So what's the long and short? I take photographs of people, I match them up to photographs of microbes, and that's the surefire, that's the guaranteed process, the protocol to eradicate microbes, to destroy germs. And whether I'm using a photograph of the herpes virus or a photograph of the HIV virus or a photograph of the Lyme spirochete, these instruments will interpret the force field, the energy code on a microbe by way of a photograph, and then destroy it. So I can guarantee the destruction, how to negate the molecular bonds, break apart a microbe with my instrument all through the identification, all through the informational input of a photograph of that microbe.
Unbelievable.
So I have thousands of photographs of microbes, hundreds of thousands of photographs of microbes. And hence, within, say, 1 hour's time, I can scan hundreds of thousands of photographs. Now, everything is through photographs. Again, there's not an in-person session. I'm working with the energy field. So in 1 hour, I can scan hundreds of thousands of photographs in my instrument, identify whatever microbe a person might have, and then destroy it, eradicate it with one session.
Literally one session.
Yes. Yes. In one day. If a person had herpes and HIV, in one day, we could eradicate the herpes virus and the HIV virus.
I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around that. You make it sound so simple. And obviously for you on your end, it is that simple. But from someone like me and other people who suffer from autoimmune or other viruses and things like that, that just seems like a dream come true and too good to be true at the same time.
I know. It's so simple. Why is it simple? Because we're working with energy, and energy controls nature. My instruments give me a control over nature, specifically the molecular nature of a microbe. Mm-hmm. And when you can break apart a microbe by this simple and dependable process, yes, it is simple. It's straightforward. I've heard it so many times. People say, "Tom, that's so simple. If it's that easy, why isn't this catching on?" Mm-hmm. It's poorly understood.
Obviously. So does someone need to come to you knowing, or at least have a general idea of what their ailment is? Yeah. Or are you able to figure out somehow with your instruments, if they don't have a diagnosis, what it could possibly be?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't diagnose for various reasons. I'm not in the medical field. I'm not a nurse or a physician. So I only work with energy fields. And when I'm working with a person's photograph, there is a way to diagnose, but I would rather not do that. I simply, if you will, I simply scan over 400,000 photographs of different microbes in my instrument. I have a library of 400,000 photographs, microphotographs of viruses, bacteria, parasites, etc. And in 1 hour, with that standardized process, I can identify potentially now over 400,000 species of different microbes, pathogens, parasites, and eradicate them. So it's a standardized process. That way I don't have to diagnose for each person. As a standardized process, I can work with one person at a time, or 30 people at a time, or 500,000 people at a time.
That's crazy. What about the big C word, the big virus that's going around now?
During the pandemic, I'll speak about my family and my friends. None of us went to the hospital. None of us were sick. We were all being treated with scalar. I did not take any extraordinary precautions during scalar. I socialized. I met with people. I never caught it. I was never sick. Now, if I was infected with the virus, so be it. But I never had what I call the full-blown symptomology of COVID. So to me, it was not. I was not in harm's way. And I will say without equivocation, during this pandemic, I was able to identify the virus, the COVID virus, on a person's photograph. Now, again, I don't work with people. I work with force fields. And I'm able, with a person's photograph, not only to identify the virus, but to break it apart.
Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy to me. This is all just blowing my mind.
Why do I say this, AJ? Because I'm working with scientific instruments. Now look what scientific instruments do. We can fly a plane. A computer can perform computational exercises. A car can travel at a high speed, okay? A cell phone, you can speak to somebody halfway around the world without a wire. It's a wireless transmission. Well, 100, 200 years ago, say 200 years ago, all of those feats would have been extraordinary. Well, now we can achieve that with technology. I'm saying with this new technology, I can identify microbes in a force field and destroy them.
I'm curious if someone doesn't have a virus or something that you could break down. Say it was physical pain or an autoimmune disease of some kind, like fibromyalgia or MS or something. Or like I have a listener in the chat saying they have a vein disorder. Is that something you could also work with, or is it virus only?
It's hard to say what the upshot will be. Again, I've standardized these sessions, and what I can guarantee is the identification of a microbe and the destruction of microbes or a series of microbes. Now, will that help somebody with a vein disorder? It could, because somebody might have streptococcus of their vein, some type of bacterial infection of their vein. Mm-hmm. Does it help some people with autoimmune disease? Well, for instance, we're able to eradicate the Epstein-Barr virus. Now, the Epstein-Barr virus is associated with an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is when your thyroid becomes inflamed or your thyroid is now being attacked under this autoimmune response. And many people believe that the Epstein-Barr virus is one of the leading causes or perhaps the prime mover behind Hashimoto's. Well, we've been able to eradicate the Epstein-Barr virus. And the upshot is people with Hashimoto's no longer have that pronounced autoimmune response. Perhaps because we've removed the driving force, the Epstein-Barr virus, that is associated with this imbalance that's associated with this overproduction of antibodies that will try to regulate the thyroid gland because it's being, if we will, infected with the Epstein-Barr virus. So if you get rid of the virus, you no longer have the antibody overexpression.
Okay. That's starting to make more sense. When you're working with someone's photograph and in their energy, are they able to, without knowing you're working on them in that moment, have you had reports to know if they're able to feel any different while you're working on them? Like, do they know something's happened before you reach out to them and tell them their treatment has been completed?
Some people do. We've been able to work with people who had nasal drip or a great deal of sinus infection. And after an hour or two of sessions, they feel that their nasal passages are opening. They don't have the nasal drip that they once had. And that's because we're able to disassemble bacteria. We're able to disassemble many of the parasites or viruses that can be attributed to this type of sinus infection. And it only takes one session to break down, eradicate these microbes. So within a few hours, some people start feeling better by the eradication of these microbes that make us miserable. So sometimes, yes, to answer your question.
Okay. Well, with the follow-up question, when you say sometimes they feel it in that moment, sometimes it's much later. When you say one treatment will allow someone to feel completely better, what's the time frame on that? Like, how long does the process take?
Yeah, we have a protocol which throughout the day we work with scalar energy instruments. So our standardized session is the following. For 1 hour a day, we'll work with microbes. We'll identify and eradicate, eliminate microbes. The second hour, the instrument is so strong it will balance the brain waves and the chakra balance. And so we have called the second treatment a chakra balancing or a brain balancing. Why? An instrument, a scalar energy instrument, will connect with our brain waves and our 7 chakras, producing a blissful state for many people, or at least resulting in, say, a better night's sleep, or calming their mood, or in some way presenting a situation, an emotional uplift, a sense of happiness. That's a chakra balancing. All done by way of sending instructions, scalar energy instructions into the brain, the mind, and the 7 chakras. So for the second hour, we work with a person's chakra system. And then the remaining 22 hours, we work with nutrients. We're able with these instruments to actually assemble antioxidants. We're able to assemble amino acids. We're able to create phytochemicals, fatty acids, amino acids. And we do all of that by scalar energy instructions. In other words, everybody's physical makeup, they have hydrogen, oxygen, carbon. And we actually rearrange these elements into a vitamin or into a mineral or into an amino acid. So a scalar energy instrument can look at my photograph, can ascertain the presence of elements on this photograph, and then rearrange those elements into a nutrient. That I find that quite advantageous. It is nutritional health, and it works.
Well, looking at your website, and Chanel will post that up on the screen. Oh, I almost lost my microphone. She'll post that up on the screen. Oh, see, she's right on it. For those of you who want to check out Tom's website, it's there on the screen if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or live on kgradb.com. If not, the website is scalarlight.com, which is SCALARLIGHT. You have several when you go into the programs, and I maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming when it says programs, those are different ways that you can use your instruments.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
And there are several different programs, and they range all over the place, from hormones to weight loss to natural foods to digestion issues, and then obviously you can treat the virus issues as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of healing.
Yes.
I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, it's apparent because I think about, we've already talked about it, but I just think about how many people this can help. And it's overwhelming to me that we aren't in more awareness and I get it. Let's put the politics aside and the greed and all of that aside, the medical industry and all of that, blah, blah, blah. There's still people out there looking for alternative healing. And you kind of got to wonder why this isn't in more awareness if we're able to heal. Are you the only one who does this type of?
To answer your question, yes, because the instruments are custom made. The process that I developed is unique to my experience.
Okay.
This is a very narrow science right now. It's not by my intention, but to speak to that point, I'm the only one in the world doing this because I'm the only one in the world doing this.
Okay. And that's crazy right there. Like,
yes, it is. Thank you. You see how I'll use the word ridiculous. If this is of such benefit, thank you. If this is of such benefit to mankind, and if I can work with an HIV clinic, and after I work with the people who once were HIV positive, and after I work with them by way of their photograph, they no longer have any detectable viral load, and their health improves significantly, and they no longer have any indication of any viral load or any symptoms of HIV, I think that's of merit. I think that should be on the front page of the newspapers.
Absolutely.
It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not.
Just like our listener here in chat, our producer flashed up on the screen, the world should be knocking at your door. Like people not knowing or understanding the depth of the abilities that you have created with these instruments. I don't understand it, but that's just going to be something I'm probably not going to understand even till the end of the show. And we could talk about that all night.
It's going to be a grassroots effort. It has been. I came public with my work 12 years ago. Prior to that, I was a very quiet researcher. I saw what the potential was, but then I said to myself, okay, well, I have to do something now. And I've been public now 12 or 13 years, and slowly we're gaining a grassroots effort. Slowly people are catching on. It will catch on. It's all grassroots. So thank you for those who've supported us.
Yeah. And that's what shows are about. Shows like this are about, right?
Mhm.
We're here to bring awareness and share experiences with everyone and all the listeners here, and then they'll share with other people, like, check this out. So you getting yourself out there on shows like mine and your website and sharing it everywhere you can is a lot, but with you just being one person is just not enough. And so I want to just invite our listeners, our audience, please share this video, share with your friends and family who you feel could benefit from this type of service, because it sounds incredibly amazing. And if you go to the website, scalarlight.com, you'll see all of these testimonials of people who have had success working with Tom and what he does. I personally have not as of yet, but who knows what the future holds. I'm very interested in the possibility, but there's a lot going on in the world when it comes to viruses. And I know it's affecting each and every one of us on some level or another. And I just feel like more people having options is a beautiful thing. We don't always have to go to medical doctors, and we don't always have to go to like a functional medicine doctor. We don't always have to go to a metaphysical healer of some kind. This is scientific, and it's different in any of those ways that I just mentioned. It's, like Tom said, cutting edge, even though it's old science.
It is old science. It's as old as the stars. Again, just to underscore, my work is unique because this is my unique protocol, an approach that I have developed over the years, and much of it has come through experimentation as to the right way to manipulate this energy, to control this energy. I don't want to be the only scalar energy researcher that's able to do this, but right now nobody has duplicated my work. And until somebody takes up the banner and puts in the time and effort, then they're not going to achieve my results. Mm-hmm. This takes a lot of work. Look at the lifestyle of Tesla or my predecessor, Hieronymus. They devoted their lives to this. This is not a hobby. It takes work.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I've always been fascinated with science. I'm going to be honest. A lot of it goes over my head because that's just not the world that I've been familiar living in. Loved it in school. Even went to college and did a lot of it, but it just, some of it just goes right over my head. So you start talking about like molecules and pathogens and all of this stuff. And I hear you, it's making sense. Like I'm connecting the dots, but is there any way that you could break it down? Like how, I get it. You have the photo, the virus, and I'll
give you this analogy.
Okay.
You've seen some people can hold a glass to their lips and make the glass vibrate and shatter. Have you seen that? That's an actual scientific principle, the law of resonance. Some people can shatter glass with their voice.
Right.
Well, I don't shatter glass. I shattered germs by putting in the same energy that created that virus.
So it's the same. Okay. See, thank you. I'm like, I just can't wrap my head around all of this. It's just so much. But how is the scalar energy different from like an electromagnetic energy?
All energy initiates from the stars as scalar energy. So electricity and magnetism are a subset or a derivative of scalar energy. Mm-hmm. Now, meaning the supreme force is scalar energy, and the derivative, electricity, is a weakened version of scalar energy, and it cannot achieve what its parent can achieve. So scalar energy is the primary energy of the universe, and as the primary energy of the universe, it controls the universe. Electricity, magnetism is a secondary energy, and it does not have consummate control over nature. If you want to control nature, you do it with scalar energy. If you want to control a virus, you do it with scalar energy. Scalar energy will dictate whether that virus exists or breaks apart.
Okay, well, there we go. This is a really great place for us to stop. It is break time. The second hour is completely commercial free. Of course, I have more questions because that's what I do. So, everyone stay close. And when we get back, we'll learn more about this amazing scalar energy and hopefully hear some really cool success stories.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. The Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hi, Wonders. Welcome back. This is Soul Wanderings, and we are hosted here on kgradb.com. There's so much to see if you go and visit the website. Not only my show, like I said at the beginning of my show, there's lots of other shows too. And you won't want to miss the lineup because there are so much going on. And you'll see what you see just by logging on to the website. However, there's a lot behind the scenes as well in the members area. And you can actually get into the members area. There's like a free week trial, but if you decide to sign up after seeing all the goodness, you can use my promo code SOUL21, SOUL21. That way you can get 30% off of your membership for the year, which is a great deal of savings, and we could all use those extra pennies in our pocket. So if you're wanting to dive in deeper to all of these anomalous topics that we talk about here on the station, make sure you use Soul21 to get that 30% off. Tonight we are hanging out with Tom Paladino, and we are talking about scalar light. And it's actually an instrument that provides healing to different types of viruses and ailments. And it's an old science that Tom has brought back into the light and is sharing with all of us. It's quite fascinating. If you've been with us, you've heard for yourself. And Tom, welcome back. We are in the second hour. I'm happy to have you continue wandering with us tonight. I know you have so much to share. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's a pleasure to be on this show. Thank you.
Thank you. So you're definitely more of a science guy. I would take it you're probably more analytical.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know a lot of my listeners, we are always searching for answers, like how things work and why they work. And we are looking for the proof and things like that. So let's go into the proof. Have you worked with anyone in the medical field? Have you had any experiences sharing these instruments with them? And what has that looked like?
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years ago, a group approached me. They wanted to see under a microscope how this would work. So we positioned ourselves so that we had pond scum or protozoan in a petri dish. And I was sent a photograph of that petri dish. And under the influence of scalar energy, the pond scum, the protozoan, would break apart or essentially implode. They would just deconstruct. And we observed that under a microscope. And that was an indication that we had a successful scalar energy treatment at a distance. Okay, so I'm once again, to put this into context, a group performed a scientific experiment with me in which they sent me a photograph of pond scum. I treated that pond scum at a distance with a photograph, and we were able to eliminate, eradicate, break apart those protozoan, those unicelled microorganisms, proving that scalar energy can act at a distance and can break down the molecular structure of microorganisms. Now, have any other groups really taken serious consideration? No. You see, AJ, once again, to cut to the chase, there's no money in this. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a university, a hospital, a foundation, if you approach me, I'll prove that a scalar energy instrument can eradicate microbes, which are the bane of society, in which we've had so many people die or from microbial infection or becoming severely infected with these germs, with these microbes. The long and short of it is this: no matter how many times I can present on my website PCR tests or diagnostic tests, I'll hold up. In particular, here's a PCR test. Working with people around the world, some people will submit their PCR test in which it shows negative, no viral load for herpes. Well, prior to my session, people had herpes. After my session, there's no viral load. So this is the documentation that we speak of on our website. We have hundreds of diagnostic tests, and we have thousands of testimonies. So that's the beginning body of evidence. But keep in mind, does that prove that a photograph can eradicate the herpes virus? That's the connection that many people cannot make. And frankly, it will be hard for me to prove that a photograph directly connects to the eradication of the herpes virus inside a person. By Newtonian physics, I cannot do that. What am I getting at? Scalar energy is a new science. You cannot prove scalar energy science by the existing approach that we have in academia. It's a new way of looking at reality. So no matter how many PCR tests I have, we have to develop a new scientific protocol to prove that scalar energy exists and that it can act at a distance. Nobody's been able to do that. It's a real catch 22.
So, do you have a lot of pushback from people when it comes to your presentation of this idea or concept, or are people open to it and wanting to know more about it?
People are very open.
Good.
They visit the website. They see the diagnostic test. They read the thousands of testimonies of people, and then they come to the conclusion, well, this cannot be a contrivance. This cannot be, thousands of people cannot be wrong. And the diagnostic test, those are scientific tests that we rely upon. So people start to say there's some merit here. They might not understand the process. I don't blame them. Unless you study this narrow science, you're not going to understand this.
Right.
There is no definitive college textbook for scalar energy. I've never seen it. Nobody's ever written one. So the long story short, you have to walk in faith right now, AJ.
Right. And I think that's with any type of healing, even in the medical field, you really do. They don't know everything, and they aren't healers per se. A lot of times they're fixers, and they mask a lot of the issues. And I'm not saying like every doctor is like that. I'm just saying the majority, we just create more problems than we started out with, from my observation and from my own personal experience.
Yes.
And so I think when someone gets to a point of they've tried this, they've tried that, they'll try anything, right? Because I feel like when someone has an ailment that is affecting them on that level, they'll do anything to have some relief. And this would be an alternative course of direction for them that they could try out. Does it hurt anyone to try it out? Are there any side effects?
Very good. There are no side effects whatsoever because it's non-physical. And every time I work with somebody's photograph, it's a piece of cake, frankly. Most people don't feel any sensation. Those who do feel a sensation are quite sensitive. So there's no negative side effect. Most people don't feel anything. After 2 or 3 days, people say that they sleep better, or that they feel a greater surge of energy, or their sinuses drain, or they're having their chakras balanced will put them in a state of bliss, or they're more mentally aware, have a greater sense of mental cognitive awareness. But there's no side effects. There is no negative drawback to this. None.
What about the long-term effects? Is this a permanent solution for them?
It's not. It's never a permanent solution because we always change. In other words, we can become reinfected, or our chakras can become out of balance. So we have to always follow up with this. In other words, some people will have a scalar energy session every 3rd or 4th months.
Okay, yeah, I was curious because when I was listening to your testimonials, she had said she had 5 treatments, and earlier you said it only took 1. And I was like, why'd she have 5?
Yes.
But now I know.
Yeah. Well, what we do in order to prove this to society, we have a website in which we offer 15 days of free sessions. So for 15 consecutive days, we'll work with people. We'll balance their chakras, we'll eliminate microbes, and we'll assemble nutrients. Now, when you do that for 15 consecutive days, many people see the merit, they feel better, and they say, there's something going on here. So I'm all about proving my work, and the 15-day free session proves what I'm doing.
That's very generous.
Yeah, thank you.
15 whole days. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook on KGRA Digital Broadcasting's page, you can see there on the screen 15 days of free Scalar Light sessions for you as a gift from Tom. And you just need to visit his website at scalarlight.com. Okay, so back to questions because I love the questions. I had a whole bunch typed up for you because I was like, wait, what? This is so crazy cool. Like, how does this even work? And I lost the one I was going to ask you because I was being present in the moment. And Okay. So it's gone. We'll move on. Hopefully it will come back. But in your bio that I received, there was a question about a proof study. Is that what this 15 days is?
Yes.
To
Yeah.
prove to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am
I'm
I
wondering how that. Go ahead.
It's all about proving my work, or at least proving that this energy is of benefit. Now, if you've never seen a computer before, you want to have a hands-on experience with a computer. Well, if you've never experienced scalar energy, how do you do that? You get a 15-day free trial to have hands-on experience to experience scalar energy by way of a scalar energy instrument. So my website offers that 15-day trial. It's all about results. I'm all about results.
Earlier, you were showing a photo of yourself and saying that you could also do it to a group. You can do it to several people. So if like one family was experiencing a virus of some kind, it was affecting all of them. This is something everyone could do, even together as a family.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So today in my laboratory, I work with charities around the world. Today in my laboratory, I worked with 500,000 people. I had over 500,000 photographs inside my instruments today. Now, where am I going with this? This is a global healing enterprise. All it takes is some type of photograph. We can miniaturize the photographs of a person to provide quantum healing. So the day is coming that we will work with millions of people a day by way of their photograph. That's what I envision. That's the end goal, if you want to know.
Excuse me. Are you ever working on anyone without their awareness or knowing?
No.
Say something's going on in whatever country and they're all suffering from whatever virus in that time. Is that something that you do?
I don't. I would like to get the word out so that we would have other charities around the world that would help us. For instance, I'm now working with probably over 100 NGOs, non-government organizations around the world. And many of those NGOs will present to me photographs, collages of people. Here's, for instance, I'm holding up, this group is out of India. This is an HIV/AIDS clinic in India. It's Om Prakash, and we're working with hundreds of people, now thousands of people in Delhi, India, who were HIV positive, all by way of their photograph. This is part of their group. Some of these people at one time in their life were HIV positive. Those people that are photographed, some of them now after the scalar energy sessions, no longer have any detectable viral load. So what's my point? I work with clinics, I work with NGOs around the world, charities, Christian missionaries, and we receive collages like this every day. So it adds up. So the key is you have to have somebody locally educating, instructing people. I can't do this by Facebook or Twitter. You have to have boots on the ground, so to speak.
Yeah. I would imagine that's why it surprised me that this is all you. This is all you doing the thing. And obviously you've had thousands and thousands of clients because you have thousands of testimonials.
Yes.
And you've been doing this for 35 years. So you have a lot of experience and a lot of testimonials to share, to show the proof that what you're doing is legitimate.
You're right. It is legitimate. And thousands of testimonies from people around the world. And then again, diagnostic tests that prove that something favorable happened, that after a scalar energy session, nobody has a viral load for herpes. It's not detected. Well, what does that mean? It's a new way of looking at quantum healing.
Right. And the statistics on the herpes virus alone, isn't it like 1 in 3 people carry the virus?
Herpes 1, which is oral herpes, the adults in the world, it can pass by drinking a communal cup of water. At least 80% of the adults in the world have herpes because it passes so easily. It can pass by kissing, by drinking, by using utensils, by a community, or by by sipping out of a water cup that somebody else sipped out of that has herpes. It's easy to pass. Anyway, long and short of it is most of the adults in the world have herpes 1. They don't realize it, but they do.
Yeah, it's because their symptoms aren't there.
Exactly.
I remember doing some work, a paper on that in college, and I was blown away by the statistics, and that was 20 plus years ago.
I was blown away when I read that statistic, but it only makes sense because when something can pass by way of saliva, not just through sex, but by saliva or by drinking from a Coke can that somebody else was drinking from, the herpes 1 virus is ubiquitous. It's a universal virus now.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. But there are so many viruses and so many that we're unaware of, but you obviously have thousands of photographs of different viruses. I'm sure you could assist so many other people, but working in your laboratory, you brought up obviously you're doing a lot of research and a lot of testing. Can you share any unique experiences that you've witnessed while working with your scalar energy in your laboratory?
Yes. When I work with my instruments, it's a scalar energy force field, meaning what? A scalar energy force field in which only scalar energy exists. It's like a bubble of scalar energy. And if I were to bring my laptop into that bubble of energy, my laptop would not work because my laptop does not recognize scalar energy. So scalar energy will override my computer signal. My computer goes haywire when I bring it close to a scalar energy instrument. My cell phone will not work close to a scalar energy instrument because my cell phone only recognizes the electromagnetic spectrum. So what's my point? Within my laboratory, it's a really concentrated force field of scalar energy, and electromagnetic instruments do not work. They don't function.
So scientific. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about your laboratory? Like, what's that set up, and what are the things that you're doing in that space?
Yeah, there are photographs of my laboratory on the website, and for instance, I have various protocols and hence different instruments for different protocols. There are 8 different protocols, such as you mentioned, hormone, male and female hormone programs. Those are different instruments that assemble male hormones and female hormones. Why? Because many people later in life, they have a deficiency in male and female hormones. So we are able, with these instruments, to instruct progesterone to assemble, to be created in the body and to maintain a specific molecular structure. So imagine that through a person's photograph, we can instruct progesterone to assemble in the quantum field, all by way of instructions. Again, we're not working with people, we're working with a force field, and you don't have to be present, just as you don't have to be present in order to get a cell phone communication.
True. That's what's really neat. It really is that simple.
Yeah, it is. It's simple. It's deceptively simple, but if something is fundamental, it's always simple. When you work with energy, it's always simple.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's always simple. Maybe to you, because that's the arena that you work in. Yeah. I think that energy can be quite complicated myself. However, I would really, and I know the audience is interested as well, like to hear some of your success stories. So we hear the science, we hear what you're saying, and we're just curious on like, what are people experiencing? What are some stories that stand out in your mind that were profound?
Last year, at the end of 2021, we received reports from Tanzania. We've been working with people in Tanzania who are HIV positive. And I wasn't able to keep in close contact with them during the pandemic, but at the end of 2021, they mentioned that through this HIV clinic we are working now in Tanzania, another HIV clinic, everybody's fine. And according to their prognosis, their report, they're cured. This is their report, not my report. And this group submitted testimonies to me, 10 or 11 individuals, and every individual said that they no longer have HIV. Now, these are people that agreed to scalar energy sessions back in 2019, 2020, and or even as far back as 2018. And after 4 or 5 years, going back, everybody said they're feeling better. Some of them went as far to say, that's it. I don't have the HIV virus. I had a viral load test. It's not present. I feel great. I don't have symptoms of HIV. In their words, they said it's been eradicated. Now, keep in mind, I've never been to Tanzania. I only received photographs of people. And I was working with these people from Tanzania who were HIV positive, but now the entire village is expressing their thanks. They've all returned to work, and none of them are HIV positive.
That's mind-blowing. It really is. I keep saying that I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, but the results are just so profound by what you're sharing with us. And I think that I'm kind of in shock. I'm not even going to lie. If you think about healing on that capacity, you can literally save so many people's lives.
Yeah, exactly. Easily buy a photograph. They don't have to come to the United States. I receive photographs every day from people around the world. So, what's my goal? I want to work with mankind. I want to work with a billion people, a billion photographs a year. That's where we're going with this. If I presented to the audience a prototype, what I call 1x or the prototype, then let's expand it to 10x, and then 1,000,000x, and then 1,000,000,000x. It does work. Whether it's one person or a billion people, it works. Energy always works. Energy never makes a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, energy does not lie. That is for sure.
Yes. Energy does not lie.
No.
It's fundamental.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything is energy. Everything. Literally everything we are, everything we use, everything we eat, everything is energy.
Yeah, you're right. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. What am I getting at? Well, there was another Russian scalar energy scientist. He actually was an entomologist, but he started using scalar energy to create an anti-gravity platform. His name was Viktor Grebennikov. And Grebennikov was able to overcome gravity and levitate on a platform by manipulating scalar energy. Well, what does that mean? If we can reproduce his results, we can create an anti-gravity platform. We can overcome gravity. Imagine having an anti-gravity platform. You would not have to drive to work or drive to school. You could just use this anti-gravity hovering device. I've seen photographs of it in him in operation, and he is indeed levitating. Well, why aren't we using these levitating devices? It's because the powers that be don't want it.
So I can understand that being very discouraging for you.
Yeah. Because I see so many people suffering. You get the big picture. I see so many people suffering, and it's so easy to eliminate, or at least alleviate much of this suffering. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to get help from what they call Big Brother. The cabal does not want this.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't want it, and all the reasons we've already discussed. But do you have a group of people who are willing to support you and back you up in any way and get the word out that this is a possibility for them?
People like you. Thank you. That podcasters, radio hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me set the record straight. no government, no university, no think tank, no multinational corporation, no foundation, no charity has ever approached me and said that they want to work with me.
How are they aware of what you're doing?
You're aware. You're aware, right?
But I wasn't aware until you were brought to my attention.
I'm not being facetious. Many of them are aware, but they don't want to touch this. It's too political.
I could see how it would be political, especially right now where the agenda is with the pandemic. Yeah. That's a whole other thing, right? Yeah. So what are your plans then you could be on every radio show, you could be on every podcast, and you on all of these platforms, you're still not going to reach everyone. So what are some other ways that you're hoping to get the word out that you have these amazing instruments that claim to heal people?
I don't know. I really don't. I scratch my head all the time. We're on social media, but social media is censored. My social media posts are censored. The algorithms are against us. Besides alternative media, and don't be offended by this, AJ, mainstream is not going to accept this. So we have to go through your channel, through alternative media, through what is not considered to be mainstream media. Right. I don't know of any other way. Tell me if you have any suggestions. I'm open.
I'm definitely going to consider it because I just feel like if it's this substantial and this big, there should be more people that know about it. If it's really healing people the way that you say that it is, more people should know about it. Yeah. And there was no offense, by the way. This is what our station is all about, talking about things and sharing things that are off the beaten path because of all of the reasons you're saying you're having frustrations with.
Yeah.
Look, here's a question. Does Tom have a patent for your invention?
No, it was initially patented by my predecessor, Galen Hieronymus, and the patent has run out. So I'm working with a variant of his instruments. But most importantly, I do not trust the patent office. If I try and patent this, they'll steal the patent. It's so monumental, this technology, that somebody in government will steal this.
Well, and they could steal it now.
Yeah. So I'm not looking to patent it. I'm not about money. I'm not trying to strike it rich here. I'm trying to help the world.
With that being said, there was a question earlier that flashed on the screen and I bypassed it because we weren't in that arena. What is the investment for someone to work with you?
After the 15-day trial, it's per person, it's $89 a month, $89. We keep it relatively inexpensive so people can afford that.
And so that's something that you just put them in a queue and you just work with them every often?
Every day I receive collages like this. So a person can sign up any day of the month and we treat them for $89. It's only a 30-day session. There's no long-term commitment.
Right. And so those of you who have just joined us and did not hear, Tom is offering a 15-day free Scalar Light session for you as a listener. And all you have to do is go to scalarlight.com and there's a 15-day free trial button on the right-hand side that you can click on and follow from there, which is very generous. So if any of you are having some kind of symptom or know that you're having virus that's been diagnosed to you, 15 days free, I think would be, and it has no side effects. Like that's worth it to send in your photograph and to work with Tom just to see how that works for you with such a high success rate that he shares on his website with all of his testimonials. I would say it'd be worth my time. Why wouldn't you try it? Especially if you're suffering, because who has time for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is we all just we suffer with this pain and we don't realize that there's other ways that we could actually heal our bodies. Um, if you're doing all of the work yourself, would you ever be open to um, creating more instruments and training those of whom you trust to go out and help more people?
What I envision is one central location where dedicated people come and live in a community within that one central location. And there's various reasons why I say that. The instruments are very powerful. I don't want these instruments to get in the wrong hands. So instead of having multiple locations, we'll have one locations with people from around the world who are willing to dedicate themselves to this healing principle.
Okay. I can understand that and appreciate that because you've put a lot of time and investment into your instruments. And if it is what you say it is, I wouldn't want to be handing out the instruments either. Yeah. It's not like a seminar you can go to and be trained and certified like a lot of the holistic healing world is.
Yeah, you're right. It's quite involved. It's quite involved. It is a science, and it takes a great deal of training and subsequently dedication. Now, there are many people out there like that. I just have to identify them. So that day is coming. Today, we simply want to share the good news. Today, we want to uplift mankind. Today, we simply want to promulgate this new way of living. It's whatever we've accomplished with electricity, now we can accomplish with scalar energy, and it's going to be much, much more efficient, much more effective than electricity. So the future is ours. This is going to change the world. This technology will change the world. It's already changing the world.
Right. Well, other people work with this type of energy, correct? There's other devices out there that just aren't yours.
Yeah, that's
Have you worked with any of those just to test them out or to see what they're like?
No, I don't investigate other instruments, and I just simply don't have the time. So, if other people are working in this capacity, God bless them, continue to do so. I want to see this science advance. I want to see this promulgated far and wide in the world. So, I just don't have the time to investigate other modalities.
No, I understand. I just like to know where like people are coming from, what their end result, what their end game is. Yeah. And obviously you have a desire to help other people, and that's your drive. You've created instruments to do so, and your goal is to get the word out and to help more people. But you are only one person, and so when I think about all the people that you could help, like having someone assist you in some way might be beneficial.
We do have a staff. We do have a team.
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing this single-handedly. We do have a team, but nonetheless, I think the drawback as a science is very few people have ever dedicated their lives to understanding this science.
Yeah.
So, bluntly, I cannot treat and work and educate 7.9 billion people. Yeah. Others have to get on the bandwagon here. I frequently say, would it make sense to only have one plumber in the world? Would it make sense to only have one electrical engineer in the world? How about only one law enforcement officer in the world? No. Well, then why am I the only scalar energy researcher with this capability, with this type of instrumentation? Why am I the only one?
Yeah. Ever since I met you tonight, I've been wondering the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, like this whole thing, it just I have a lot of mixed emotions about it, and I'm sure you can understand because you're like right in the thick of it, but where it's new to my awareness and I'm just newly having this conversation with you, I'm frustrated. I'm confused. Yes. I'm wondering why this isn't a thing. I'm wondering.
Very good. I'm frustrated with you. And I'm saying to myself, my goodness, what more do I need to do? I've proven this throughout my life.
Well, obviously, you're doing everything that you possibly can do within your power, and here you are sharing time with us. So that is a thing. That is energy right there. That is energy in motion right there. Um, so that's good. You can only do what you can do, and um, that's all it can be. So you've obviously worked with thousands of clients, and probably too many to count, I would assume.
You're right. Today I worked with, many of them I'm working with pro bono for free. I work with 500,000 people today. I worked with 500,000 photographs today.
Right. Like you said, that's what I'm saying. You probably can't count all of them because you can do so many people at one time. It's not just a one-on-one. It's
and we are growing. We're growing really exponentially. And you're going to look back on this interview and you're going to say to yourself, well, I was there, 5 years ago, and here we are, just projecting into the future. And you're going to look back on our interview and you're going to say, yeah, it was the beginning of a global healing ministry.
I hope so, Tom. I really do. With the amount of people who are suffering like they do, I just don't feel like we should have to physically suffer in the way that we do for the reasons that we do. I just don't think that's necessary whatsoever. What's the main, you brought up HIV and you brought up the herpes virus a lot. Are those the main viruses that come? Or do you have like
the reason I mentioned herpes is because it's universal. Whether people realize it or not, most of the adults in the world have herpes 1. Why do I mention HIV? Well, it's considered incurable, and it's very serious. And close to 40, maybe more, 40 million people are HIV positive. Yeah. Well, if we can eradicate HIV, according to these people from Delhi, India, by way of their photograph, then I'll work with 40 million people. Where are the 40 million photographs? I'm waiting for them. It really is mind-boggling to have this technology, to have the ability, and then to watch 40 million people languish in pain.
Mm-hmm. I could understand that. So every day while you're going through these experiences of helping other people, but also on the flip side of that coin, you're frustrated with the slow progression of this project. How do you balance yourself out, and how do you keep yourself in alignment with your goals?
I have to give it up to God. It's God's plan. There's only so much I can do. I'm limited. I'm a human being. Again, and without equivocation, thank you for this audience. Thank you for seeing the big potential here. By the way, to mention this to the listening audience, everything I've mentioned tonight is true and accurate. This is not hyperbole. This has not been embellished. Everything I've said during this program is accurate, true. I can substantiate my results. So if it's true and it's of great benefit, then this should be disseminated throughout the world.
Yeah. Well, look, here we have a listener saying we could cure COVID.
Yeah. Anything, any virus can be destroyed with scalar energy.
And I'm sure you've had your fair share amount of clients who've come to you for the COVID virus.
Yeah. We helped many people during the pandemic. Many.
Successfully.
Yeah. Very successfully.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fantastic. I'm curious about if you're not doing all this work by yourself, and thank goodness you're not. Thank goodness you have a team.
Yes.
How do you guys all work together? How does that work out for you?
I'm blessed with a group of people who have passion, desire, who are professional, who are honest, and that's what it boils down to.
You all just work together really well as a team and organization and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, it's taken a while. I've let go of many people who did not want to be honest and hardworking and sincere. But what I've arrived with are the cream of the crop. And we have a healing ministry because of them. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't hear about me. I'd be an obscure scientist. I'm still working on his theory in a laboratory.
Well, I think it takes courage to come out the way that you have and to share your passion and your truth with the world. I know that's got to be said for someone in your situation where the medical field won't take it seriously. And when they don't take it seriously, a lot of people won't either, because
Right.
they're so conditioned in believing that the medical field has the answers to everything. And I'm sure you've gotten a lot of pushback. And I also believe that you've gotten a lot of support, or you wouldn't have all of the amazing clients that you have.
Right.
You have come forward and also been brave enough to share, yes, this works.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. Tom, have you ever thought about writing a book or sharing on any kind of level that way to get the word out even more so?
Yeah, I have. I'm not going to write a book right now. It would be incomplete, but I've written 300 articles on the website. Now, and we disseminate those articles on press releases far and wide, but even those articles are suppressed. I can't tell you the suppression that I found on social media. I will post something on Facebook or Twitter. It won't go anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you're talking about health, I think it
won't go anywhere.
Yeah, I have a question from my producer. Actually, she's wondering about cancer.
No success with cancer. It's a different illness. I don't have any answer cure for cancer.
Well, that would be a beautiful thing if we could cure that, right?
Right. I'm working on that. If God gives me the wisdom, I'll do that. Yeah, it's that's been on the radar, but I don't have the wisdom quite yet.
Well, because we have some time, we have about 10 minutes or so, 10, 12 minutes. You have a very extensive website. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about the testimonials and the different programs, but earlier I mentioned that you not only work with viruses, and then you brought up the hormones, mm-hmm. you also work with a metabolism program and addictive behavior and chemical detox. Mm-hmm. Can you share some more with us about the different ways that you can work with scalar light energy besides just viruses?
Yeah, you're right. Scalar energy is unlimited. The potential is unlimited. So we have a program known as addictive behavior, chemical detox addictive behavior. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say somebody's suffering from cocaine addiction. I can take a photograph of cocaine, a magnified photograph of cocaine, and introduce it into the instrument. And then that energy field, I send that into a person, into their force field. So if I had a cocaine addiction, I would work with myself energetically with the energy of cocaine, and hopefully that energy would enter into my force field and make me abhor or make me indifferent to cocaine. We've seen that in some people. People who once had a cocaine addiction, they no longer have a desire for cocaine. So somehow we broke that, what I call that emotional intrigue. And we do it all by way of energy instructions. So for some people, we can reverse addictions, drug addictions, alcohol addictions. You do that by way of light. I'm not the operator, obviously. The movement, the prime mover is always scalar energy, and the scalar energy seems to have the ability to reduce the desire for drugs and alcohol. We've seen that with people around the world. Very important.
Seeing how that's like a major pandemic in and of itself. Yes. Right. Yes. Addiction crises are all over, especially in the last several years with the way that things have been. I've just noticed that from having my healing center, the amount of people who've come in for assistance has doubled, if not tripled, from the years prior.
And it's not going to get any better. We need a new way of addressing this. This is terrible, what's going on. This is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely do.
They call it the drug crisis. It's getting worse as time passes on. It's, we're not making headway. I know we're trying. I don't fault people, but it's a perfect storm in the wrong direction.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Earlier, I asked you to share with us some success stories, and you did. You shared with us about HIV healing in a small community. But what about some success stories in one of the other arenas that you work with, like the addiction or the hormones or anything like that?
Many times when I work with women with female hormones, I'm able to assemble progesterone, I'm able to assemble estradiol, etc. And by doing so with a light instrument, it almost imparts the correct proportion, the ratio and proportion that women need for female hormones. Now, the upshot is many women say that they no longer have hot flashes, that they're less irritable, that they can sleep without discomfort or again, hot flashes. Many women say that if they are still menstruating, their period, their menstrual flow is now regular without incidents. They have a normal blood flow without pain, without discomfort. So it seems that a scalar energy instrument can indeed assemble the correct proportion of female hormones and that women feel better to the point that they have normal menstrual flow that without severe pain or discomfort, all by way of a photograph of a woman.
So this just organically happens, like it just knows what
Yes.
your body's low on, what your body.
Yes.
That's just crazy.
Yes. Now, consider if I'm working with 500,000 photographs a day, I don't know their names. I don't know what their mental state, what their physical state is. 500,000 photographs a day. But this is God's energy. Okay. That's why I have God behind me. This is God's energy, and God decides how to heal. So the healing is from God. This energy is from God. It's divine energy.
I believe in that type of energy, most definitely. Having had experienced it and witnessed it myself. Very grateful. But also with your belief in God, how do you combine that with your belief of science?
There's no distinction. There's no contradiction. People create the division. The truth is reality. Reality is truth. If you find truth in religion and you find truth in science, well, both are statements of reality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is up for belief, and definitely that is the case, and for many people in their belief system, it's all again energy. And does this type of energy work for all ages, or
Yes,
children, pregnant women, all of them?
All stages of life, at any age, both sexes, regardless of your genetic predisposition, regardless of your cultural background, your nationality. We even work with animals.
That was my next question.
Dogs and cats. Today, somebody sent me a photograph of a tortoise, of a turtle, and we're working with a turtle today.
That's really neat. Okay, Tom, before we wrap it up, let's have you share with us one more time how others can connect with you and partake of your 15-day study, and where they can find you and how they can work with you.
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity again to share my
of course.
research. It's all about community, and it's about grassroots efforts. So visit the website, scalarlight.com, and read an article or two. And then if you're inclined, sign up. You can register by sending us your photograph. Email us your photograph. We work with photographs now. And for 15 days, we'll work with you. No obligation. There's no charge. You can send your photograph in of your children or your pets, your entire family. And monitor your health, monitor your spiritual, your physical, your emotional health, and see how this energy in some capacity will help you. It's my prediction scalar energy has a benefit. Even if it's only a minor benefit, everybody can benefit from this. There are no drawbacks. There are no negative side effects.
Also, I wanted to ask really quick, now that you said that, if you don't have a virus or any pain or anything that you're going through, you just really want a good chakra balancing and clearing, is that something that is a possibility as well?
Yes. Everybody could use the chakra balancing. We provide nutrients on a daily basis. Everybody could benefit from having nutrients created. Yes, everybody can benefit.
That's so cool. Well, it's been really neat getting to know more about the scalar light energy and the instruments that you've created and the passion behind the project, and knowing that you're working with a large amount of people. And I really do hope, Tom, that you're able to reach the world and connect with people who are on the same path as you, so you guys can help more and more people together, because we are meant to help each other. We're meant to have these experiences of healing and supporting one another in this way, and not have it manipulated by the agenda that we've talked about repeatedly tonight. So the positive thing that I'm taking from this is that there's hope, that there's options, that you're a passionate human being who really truly believes in what he's doing and has a desire to help other people. And I think that is a beautiful thing. And I really am grateful for you for taking the time that you had tonight to share all of this information with us. And I hope that our listeners reach out to you and take advantage of that 15-day study that you're offering so generously.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a beautiful night. And I can't wait to see what your future holds.
Keep in touch. We'll do another interview.
That would be fun, Tom. We'd love to have you. We'll see where you're at and how many more people you've assisted.
Okay, done deal.
Thank you. And to all of you wanderers, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. You know, we love some soul wandering and we learned so much. I hope you did. I say we because I'm speaking for you, but I hope you did too. And if you want to know more about me and the show, visit soulwanderings.com. And of course, you have to support the channel, the station here, kgradb.com. Take advantage of that promo code SOUL21 for the 30% off of your membership. And until next week, everyone, be good to yourself and be good to each other. Good night.